Scariest haunted dolls you do not want in your home. Number 1. Mandy, the haunted doll. Mandy is an antique doll from the early 20th century, made of fabric and porcelain, with a meticulously crafted face, yet it holds a haunting gaze. The story of Mandy began when a woman in Canada discovered that this doll was not just an ordinary toy. She had received it from her grandmother, but soon started experiencing strange phenomena. Mandy would often cause eerie sounds at night, such as the cry of a child, even though there was no one else in the house. Objects around Mandy would mysteriously move, and at times they would completely disappear only to reappear in unexpected places. The feeling of being watched constantly haunted anyone near the doll. In 1991, the woman decided to donate Mandy to the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia, Canada. Since Mandy was brought to the museum, both staff and visitors have felt an unsettling presence. Some reported hearing footsteps, faint giggles, and feeling a chilling draft when near Mandy. Many people have taken photos of Mandy, but these photos often show blurry shapes or strange streaks of light. However, the most mysterious thing about Mandy is her apparent ability to cause unexplained events. Objects around Mandy frequently move on their own, sometimes falling without any reason. Some believe that the spirit of a child has possessed Mandy, and it is this spirit that has turned the doll into a famous supernatural phenomenon. Today, Mandy is still on display at the Quesnel Museum, attracting many visitors. Although years have passed, the story of Mandy continues to send shivers down people's spines, and this doll has become a symbol of mystery and haunting in Canadian folklore. Number 2. Ruby the Haunted Doll. The story goes that Ruby originally belonged to a family who experienced many unsettling events surrounding the doll. Ruby was often found in different places from where she was left, even though no one in the household had moved her. Family members reported feeling sudden cold spots, hearing whispers, and sometimes feeling an unexplained sense of sadness when they were near Ruby. It is believed that Ruby is haunted by the spirit of a child who died tragically, although the details of this tragedy are unclear. The doll has been passed down through generations, and each owner has experienced similar strange occurrences. Some say that the doll has a strong connection to the spirit world, and it is not uncommon for people to feel uncomfortable or even ill in its presence. Eventually, Ruby was donated to a paranormal museum where she remains today. Visitors to the museum have reported similar experiences, including feelings of unease and sadness, as well as the sensation of being watched by the doll. Ruby is often found in different positions from where she was placed, even within the secure confines of her display case. Number 3. Letta the Haunted Doll. Letta the Haunted Doll is one of the most infamous haunted dolls, with a backstory that's both chilling and mysterious. The doll, which is believed to be over 200 years old, has an eerie presence and a story that has fascinated paranormal enthusiasts for years. The tale of Letta began in Australia in the early 1970s when Kerry Walton, a local man, discovered the doll in the basement of an abandoned house in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales. Kerry had always been curious about the house and decided to explore it one day. While in the basement, he stumbled upon a large old wooden box. Inside the box, he found the doll, which had an unsettling, almost lifelike appearance. The doll had glassy eyes, real human hair, and was dressed in old, faded clothing. From the moment Kerry brought Letta home, strange things began to happen. His family members and even his pets seemed terrified of the doll. They reported that they felt an intense fear whenever the doll was around, and the dogs would bark and growl at it incessantly. Kerry also claimed that the doll would move on its own, changing positions even when no one was around. At times, it seemed as if Letta's expression would change, as though the doll was alive and aware of its surroundings. According to legend, Letta is said to be possessed by the spirit of a young boy who drowned many years ago. The name Letta is believed to come from the phrase "Letta me out," which is supposedly what the spirit of the boy would say when he tried to communicate through the doll. Kerry decided to seek help from various psychics and paranormal experts, and many of them confirmed that Letta was indeed haunted. Some even said that the spirit attached to the doll was of Romani, Gypsy origin, and that the doll might have been created to house the spirit of a deceased child, a practice that was sometimes done in certain cultures. Today, Letta the Haunted Doll is still in Kerry Walton's possession, and he occasionally takes the doll to paranormal events and shows. People who have encountered Letta often report feeling uneasy or scared, and some even claim to have experienced strange phenomena after being near the doll. Letta has become a well-known figure in the world of haunted objects, continuing to intrigue and terrify those who hear its story. Number 4. Charley the Haunted Doll. Charley the Haunted Doll is another doll with a mysterious and eerie backstory that has intrigued many who are fascinated by the paranormal. Charley was first discovered in 1968 by a family in the attic of their old Victorian home in upstate New York. The doll was found sitting inside a small wooden box, along with a yellowed piece of paper bearing the Lord's Prayer. The doll itself was small, made of felt and wood, with button eyes and an unsettling expression. It was dressed in a faded, old-fashioned sailor suit, adding to its eerie appearance. After the doll was brought down from the attic, strange things began to happen in the house. The family's children, who were initially curious about the doll, started to report unsettling experiences. They claimed that Charley would move on his own, changing positions when no one was looking. At night, the children said they could hear soft, whispering voices and footsteps in the attic, even though no one was up there. As the strange occurrences continued, the family began to feel increasingly uneasy about Charley. They reported that objects would go missing, and they would sometimes find the doll in different rooms of the house, despite no one having moved him. Some family members even claimed to see the doll's expression change, as if he were alive. Frightened by the escalating activity, the family decided to put Charley back in the box and store him in the attic once again. They also placed the piece of paper with the Lord's Prayer on top of the box, hoping to keep the doll's eerie presence at bay. Over the years, Charley the Haunted Doll has become known as a mysterious and potentially malevolent object. Those who have come into contact with the doll often report feelings of unease, and some even claim to have experienced paranormal activity after being near him. Charley has since become a part of paranormal folklore, with his story being passed down and shared among those interested in haunted objects.